Hi, I'm Father Joel, and thank you for tuning into the Pilgrim Priest podcast. On this Divine Mercy Sunday, I'd like to do a shout out to Nanette, who's just celebrated 5 years as a patron. Learn more at patreon.com/pilgrimpriest. Thank you, Nanette, for your support, and I want to thank you for tuning in. God bless you. This weekend is the official time throughout the Diocese of Green Bay for reading appointment letters, and so I have a letter from the diocese to read to you. Dear parishioners of Saints Mary and Hyacinth, St. John, St. James Stanislaus, and St. Wenceslaus parishes, God's blessings to you this Easter season. Out of gratitude for the service that Father Kamal has provided to the Diocese of Green Bay, and the communities of Saints Mary and Hyacinth, St. John, St. James Stanislaus, and St. Wenceslaus, I extend my heartfelt thanks and prayers as his ministry will conclude on May 4th. I ask you to join me in expressing our thanks and keeping Father Kamal in your prayers. It is Bishop's intention to appoint Father Michael Thiel as parochial vicar to Saints Mary and Hyacinth, St. John, St. James Stanislaus, and St. Wenceslaus parishes, beginning July 1, 2026. Father Michael graduated from Oshkosh West High School and attended the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, studying architecture and business. He attended Conception Seminary in Conception, Missouri, and St. Francis de Sales Seminary in Milwaukee. He was ordained in 2016 by Bishop Ricken. He has served as parochial vicar at the Quad parishes in Green Bay and St. Mary and St. Francis parishes De Pere. Most recently, Father Michael served at St. Dennis Parish in Shiocton and St. Patrick Parish in Stephansville. Please know of my prayers for your parishes during this time of transition. May the Holy Spirit bless and guide you and your families. I'm not surprised, or shouldn't be surprised, that Father Kamal is moving on for more than a decade. We've had the assistants here in the Antigo area Catholic churches serving for 2-year terms. It is a little surprising that he'll be returning to India and that it will be happening rather quickly on May 4th. The diocese usually doesn't tell us the story behind these decisions, and that can leave room for some doubt, confusion, some hurt feelings, on top of the normal feelings that happen during a transition, grieving, and also anticipation. In the absence of information, some people invent stories that sound plausible, but have little connection to the actual story. These can amplify the doubt, confusion, and hurt that can happen during a transition. St. Paul says that we have to suffer through various trials so that the genuineness of our faith, more precious than gold that is tested, might prove for the praise and glory of God the Father. And I love that nobody likes trials. I'm not a fan of challenges and difficulties. But challenges and difficulties tend to test us. They tend to test our mettle, so to speak. They tend to prove us. And when we come through a trial or a difficulty, we can be stronger. We can have deeper faith. We can be more focused on the things that matter. But it also happens sometimes that trials expose us, that we become seen for who we truly are, that when things look good, when things are going well, we appear to have it all together. But then when a trial comes along, that facade kind of falls away. And so these trials and difficulties that we face are opportunities to test us, to step up to the challenge. It's also an opportunity for us to trust in God's plans and God's providence, that this transition will somehow work out the best for all involved, for Father Kamal and also for us. Today's gospel, we see the risen Jesus standing in the midst of the disciples and saying, "Peace be with you." His presence gave the early church a deep sense of communion and community. Because they could trust in Jesus, they could also trust in one another. And they saw each other as opportunities to support each other. They helped one another. It says that they had everything in common. Those who had plenty were happy to share and to help those who were in need. And it's because they were rooted in God's love for them that they could love one another so generously. And that's our desire for our parish community, is that we could be that same kind of family of faith that the early church was. The same risen Jesus is here today. The same risen Jesus offers us peace. Every assistant I've had has been a blessing. I have learned because of them and grown through that. But every assistant has also brought different kinds of challenges with him and different perspectives on the church and priesthood and how to serve Jesus. The perspective that Father Kamal brought was a joyful enthusiasm for the gospel. He brought us joy and taught us that the gospel really is good news. And so as we prepare to say goodbye to Father Kamal, I invite you to keep him and his family in your prayers, and indeed pray for our parish community during this time of transition. Transitions can be opportunities for growth. They can open up new opportunities, but also they can bring challenges and some sadness and some grieving, and that's normal in the course of a transition. But we need to remember that in the midst of every transition that we face, the risen Jesus is with us. He offers us peace when we are ready to receive it. Thank you. I'm thinking I might get an aquarium. I heard they're good for your mental health. At least they provide you with a lot of endorphins. You can put a little piano in there, but the fish only play scales. It's hard to tune a fish.